You catch your little toe on the bed frame. For a moment, nothing. You have time to draw a breath. Then you're doubled over. By morning, there's no mark at all. That same evening, you find a long scratch down your forearm and no idea where it came from. Real damage. No pain at all. Pain runs on one rule and everybody knows it. The bigger the damage, the louder it gets. Except the size of a wound and the volume of the pain have nothing to do with each other. They come apart every day, in everyone. So who sets the volume? In a hospital, even in the worst cases, it comes down to one question. On a scale of 1 to 10. There's no instrument. There's no unit. No blood test shows anything here. Medicine can measure the pressure inside your eye, a hormone in a milliliter of blood, the speed of a signal running down a nerve. With pain, it asks the person and takes their word for it. In 1971, Ronald Melzack of McGill University decided that wasn't enough and did the only thing left to him. He collected words from patients, 78 words people use to describe pain, throbbing, shooting, burning, gnawing, and built them into a questionnaire. It's still one of the best tools medicine has. The best tool for measuring pain is a list of adjectives. Not because nobody tried hard enough. Because outside the person, there's nothing to measure. Pain doesn't travel in a vein. You can't lift it off a nerve. Winter, 1944, the Anzio beachhead. An American anesthetist, Henry Beecher, treats soldiers brought straight from the fighting. The wounds are severe, shattered limbs, open chests, fractures that end a man's war. Beecher asks each of them one question, whether he wants morphine. 3 out of 4 say no. They say it doesn't hurt or hurts too little to bother with. The same doctor, the same medicine, a civilian hospital a few years later, Beecher asked the same question of patients after planned surgery. A smaller wound, a clean one, made deliberately, under anesthetic, announced in advance. Almost all of them ask for morphine. The worse the wound, the smaller the pain. Now the same thing from the other side. A man loses a leg. The leg stays in the operating theater, the stump heals cleanly, and after 6 months looks exactly as it should. And for years afterwards, that man feels a cramp in a foot that isn't there, one he can't stretch out. Most people who have lost a limb know this from their own body. There's no tissue there, no nerve, nothing that could send a signal. The pain is there. Damage and pain aren't one thing described by 2 words. They're 2 separate things that usually travel together and can come apart completely. So if pain doesn't come from the wound, where does it come from? In your skin, your muscles, and your organs, you have millions of tiny sensors. For 100 years, they were called pain receptors, and that name shaped the thinking of all medicine. It was wrong. They are damage sensors. They don't detect pain, they detect events, temperature above a certain limit, pressure, stretching, chemical changes in the tissue. The report they send runs roughly like this. It's hot here. Something is tearing here. Not a word in it about how much this is supposed to hurt. That report travels up to the spinal cord, and there for the first time it meets something that judges it. In 1965, Melzack, the same one, together with Patrick Wall, described a system in the cord that works like a gate. Some reports it lets through, some it holds back. It isn't run only by signals from below, from the wound. It's run from above as well. That's why you rub a knock and it really does hurt less. You aren't healing it. You're jamming the gate with another signal. And if the gate is controlled from above, then somewhere above, a decision is being made. 1995, a British medical journal describes a case that went round the world. A builder jumps down from scaffolding and lands on an 18-centimeter nail. The nail goes clean through his boot, visible above it and below. The man is screaming. The slightest movement of the boot is unbearable, and they give him strong painkillers and sedatives just to get it off him. The boot comes off. The nail had passed exactly between his toes. The foot is untouched, not a single scratch. The pain was real. It was maximal. And it had no damage underneath it. Only eyes that had seen a nail go clean through a boot, and the conclusion that followed. It works the other way around too, and not in one case only. In 2011, Irene Tracy's team at Oxford heated people's skin in a scanner, always to the same degree, while a powerful painkiller ran into them through a drip. Told the drug was starting to work, they felt the pain drop sharply. Then they were told the drip had been switched off. It hadn't been. The pain climbed back almost to where it started. It stopped working because the person stopped expecting it to. Pain doesn't measure what happened to your body. It measures what your brain concluded had happened to it. Pain isn't a report about damage. It's an order. It isn't produced so you can find out what happened. Your eyes usually handle that. It's produced so you pull your hand back this instant, stop putting weight on that leg, and give the place a wide berth for days. Pain doesn't describe, it forces. And if it forces, then its intensity doesn't match the size of the wound. It matches how badly your brain wants to force you into something. The little toe, masses of sensors, bone right under the skin, no doubt at all about where exactly this is. The signal is unambiguous, and the spot is easy to smash again. The order goes to maximum. The scratch on the forearm, nothing to protect, nothing to do differently. The order is pointless, so there isn't one. The soldier at Anzio has a wound that means the end of the war for him. A ship, a hospital, home. Nothing to interrupt, nothing to run from. He's already lying down, already being carried. Nothing to enforce, so the order drops to zero. The man with the nail is in exactly the opposite situation. Every movement of that foot means, by everything he can see, tearing it apart from the inside. The order has to be absolute. An order can be left switched on. In 1983, Clifford Wolff showed that the system carrying these reports can learn. After a long enough barrage of signals from a wound, it turns its own sensitivity up. The same stimuli start producing a stronger result, and things that meant nothing before, a shirt against the skin, warm water, start to hurt. For a few days after an injury, this makes sense. The body is meant to be oversensitive, so you don't use the damaged place, except that when the wound heals, that turned up setting doesn't always come back down. What's left is pain nobody needs. Roughly 1 adult in 5 lives with pain that outlasts the injury it started from. Backs, heads, joints, stomachs. Produced by exactly the same means as the pain from the nail, only without the nail. In 2020, the international body that studies pain changed its official definition and added an explanation that hadn't been there before. Pain is not the same thing as activity in the nerves, and it can exist without any damage to tissue. Not all of this is settled. Why the system comes back to normal in some people and stays turned up for years in others is still disputed. The direction is certain. Pain is made, not measured. People this happens to are told at some point that it's all in their head. What they hear is one thing, that they're lying. The sentence is true. It just means something other than what the person saying it had in mind. Every pain happens in the head, the one from the nail as well. There aren't two kinds, a real one from the body and an invented one from the mind. One mechanism and everything goes through it the same way. Nothing hurts you right now, that changes nothing. All your life you have the sense that you feel your own body. That pain is a window you see through, into whatever is going on inside you. You can't. What you feel is a conclusion. You feel a judgment something inside you passed on your body before you had a chance to know about it, based on what you saw, what you expected, what you feared, and what once already happened to you. And you have no way of telling that apart from a fact. You've never felt anything else. The corner of the bed didn't hurt. It couldn't. There's no pain in the corner of a bed, just as there was none in the nail. There was only that one moment of silence between the impact and the scream, a fraction of a second in which the report was already traveling up and the verdict hadn't been passed. It's the only moment when something inside you knows what actually happened and hasn't told you yet. For the rest of our lives, all we feel is the verdict.